This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
Yes, indeed. Great to have you with us for another edition of the Farm Monitor. I am one half of the equation. The other half, Kenny Bergamy, he is off this week. Nonetheless, that is the only major change. We still have a great show for you. Coming up, sustainability and rain. Just some of the conversation at this year's Southern Peanut Growers Conference. We'll have the complete recap and what one Georgia lawmaker had to say about a potential trade deal and its effects on the peanut industry. Also on the program, no surprise here, lots of fun at the annual Young Farmers and Ranchers Leadership Conference. John Holcomb on why it's considered by many to be Georgia Farm Bureau's most important event of the year. Plus, American Farm Bureau calling it a positive for ag. Details on a new proposal that could change the face of the guest worker program as we know it. These stories and so much more starting right now on the Farm Monitor. Well, every year, farmers from across Georgia gather in Camilla to check out the latest technology and research in irrigation. Damon Jones tells you what kind of advancements have been made and why it's especially important this year.
Considering that nothing can grow without it, water is the most important natural resource to the agricultural community. It's why so much time and effort is spent on finding new and better ways to conserve it in the field. And that was evident here at the Stripling Irrigation Research Park, where all the improvements in irrigation technology were on full display.
Our goal at the University of Georgia, when we develop any of these new tools, technologies, research any of them, work with any of these companies or any of that, is to become more water use efficient and to make sure that we're getting basically more crop per drop or meeting that crop demand when it needs to be there.
These improvements in water conservation are not only beneficial to the environment, but also the farmer's checkbook. And if history is any indication, advancements in the field are just getting started.
So technology in my 30 years at UGA has just blossomed, especially in the last 10 years. We see the Internet of Things, we see cellular telemetry, smart irrigation apps on smartphones. I mean, we see technology now that is just ubiquitous, it's easy to use, it's getting more cost effective, and it's everywhere.
That means gone are the days when farmers were required to be in the field to manage their irrigation. In fact, with all the new innovations, everything can be done right from the palm of their hand.
You know, we've got apps that we're able to go in and schedule irrigation on so that we basically have it with us, all the time right there in our hand and know what we need to do. And so it's making it easier and easier and more automated for the farmers to make those decisions on a daily basis. Whereas before it's kind of, you're having to try to keep up with what's going on in your field a little more, keep a check, or, we talk about the checkbook method, kind of keep a log on irrigation, rainfall, that, and a lot of these tools help account for that for you and make recommendations out of it.
With all that data being gathered and stored constantly, scheduling the right time to irrigate your crops in order to provide maximum yields has become easier than ever.
So irrigation scheduling is just using a tool, whether it be a software package or a smartphone app or a sensor, to help that irrigator, help that grower know exactly when they need to trigger an irrigation event. So they're not guessing, maybe under irrigating even, or possibly irrigating too soon before the soil is really dry. We know our growers are using more efficient irrigation nozzles like the one behind me. So they're already using very efficient technology. But we are showing that with on-farm trials, we can raise that efficiency even higher with better irrigation scheduling.
And with the hot, dry start to the growing season for corn, cotton, and peanuts, efficient irrigation practices have been extremely important to farmers who've been forced to run their pivots almost nonstop.
So we've had to really stay on top of irrigation, though, with these temperatures up in the upper 90s, lower humidity, some of those issues. And so again, we're looking at probably every about 3 to 4 days having to irrigate close to an inch at this time unless we start getting some rainfall.
Reporting from Camilla, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
In other ag news, American Farm Bureau says it's evaluating a recent proposal from the Labor Department that would streamline the federal guest worker program, commonly known as H-2A. AFBF Congressional Relations Director Allison Crittenden says a common complaint from farmers is that the H-2A program is incredibly complex, not to mention very expensive. So far, early indications are that the proposed changes would be a positive for the ag industry, as it would help to modernize the program to fit the needs of farmers and ranchers in 2019.
The proposed rule also allows farmers flexibility around worker arrival to adjust with the needs of seasonality and perishable crops and weather patterns, as well as looking at a AWAR methodology change that will disaggregate the AWAR by occupation and ensure that folks are getting paid a wage that corresponds to the type of work that they're doing. It appears that the administration has taken the concerns of stakeholders in the ag industry to heart and has produced a proposed rule that they hope will address a lot of the issues that farmers and ranchers are facing in getting their labor.
Well, recently, Georgia Farm Bureau hosted its annual Young Farmers and Ranchers Leadership Conference, which saw a superb turnout on Jekyll Island. The conference, always a blast. It's a chance to network with peers, plus you get to enjoy quality time with the family and even a bit of a break from the farm. Here's John Holcomb with the story.
There was plenty of food, fun, and fellowship this year on Jekyll Island as the Georgia Farm Bureau put on its annual Young Farmers and Ranchers Conference. It's a chance to shine the spotlight on an organization that is essential to the future of the ag industry.
We are a grassroots organization, and it's important to get all opinions and all the outlooks on what's happening in agriculture today together so that we come to a general consensus of, we are still a family, we're still all connected, all agriculture is good, and we need to work together. Much is the same way we fellowship together and play games together and sit through seminars down here together. We need to take that home and realize that we're all in this together, and it's just a good time to bring people together and remind them that all agriculture is good and we're all on the same team. Just like every year, they had a theme. This year, that theme was cultivating growth. When you really look at cultivating growth, in farming, in agriculture, nothing can prosper without cultivation. You have to spend the time and the work to make things grow and to see them through to the end to get the end result. And so when we talk about growth, it really takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of hard work to see something that was started 10, 15 years ago grow to the point it is now. You can't just throw it out there and say, here's an idea, I'm going to just let it lay on top of the ground and not do anything. You got to get hands-on and cultivate those ideas so that you can grow a program to reach as many people and as many members in the state to help explain to them the importance of advocating for agriculture.
And just like in past years, there were plenty of guest speakers, social hours, and friendly competitions. This year, though, they did add some things to the conference, like a port tour, and even a chance to go on a Lady Jane shrimp boat tour, something that the committee added to allow members to see different parts of the ag industry.
That's just an opportunity for us to showcase our state and what's going on in this area to folks that may have traveled from the far north corners of the state and don't see this stuff every day, but it's stuff that affects them. The port tour, that's a great opportunity to say, hey, we're a big exporting state and you need to see a little bit of information about what's going on. The Lady Jane tour, that's aquaculture, that's part of agriculture, and the experience you get on that shrimp boat about learning about the marine biology and the ecosystems here on the island is not only a fun experience, but for the kids and the younger generations, it's an eye-opening experience to see how diverse our great state is.
I got the chance to speak with one member that went on the Lady Jane tour, and he said the experience was a great way to see something he never has before, something he says members need to be doing as much as possible.
We get really used to doing the things that we do well, and I think Farm Bureau, the whole get outside of your fence rows approach, you do things that you don't normally do, and this was a great opportunity to do something that we don't normally get to do, and it kind of opened your eyes to that perspective.
Reporting in Jekyll for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
After the break, peanuts and politics. Yeah, the two work very closely with one another, don't they? We'll take you to Panama City and hear from a U.S. congressman about some of his main concerns facing today's peanut industry.
So my dad is an agriculture teacher, so I've grown up with FFA in my life since I was born. My grandpa was he was a state FFA president back in 1963 to 1964. So FFA and agriculture is basically just in my blood. It's always been a part of me, and when I got the opportunity to join FFA in 7th grade, I just fell in love with it. I took an agriculture class, I competed in creed speaking and forestry and various CDEs, and agriculture just took my heart. I found out all that it was about, and I found out why my dad and my grandpa loved it. And that's why I decided to join and stay involved.
To learn more about the National FFA organization, log on to ffa.org.
My name is Kristen Traw. I'm a first-generation farmer in Early County, Georgia. This year I'm growing cotton and peanuts, and I help out on a few different farms as well as farm on my own. I did not grow up in agriculture. My parents had a few backyard animals. We had goats, that sort of stuff, but this was a whole different world. It is very different to be a different stereotype in agriculture. There's a lot of great people who are more open-minded about what women can do in agriculture, as well as the different passions and skills that women can bring to this part of the world. I enjoy so many different things about being out on the farm. There's always something new, there's always some problem that needs a solution. There's so many different things, just from enjoying the wildlife to watching something that you planted grow and be harvested. There's so many different things that just make you really excited to get up out of bed in the morning. Well, it's commonly said that less than 2% of people are actually farmers, and many people are several generations removed from the family farm. And because of that, there's a lot of misinformation about what we do. There's a lot of misinformation about how we use chemicals on plants or how we treat our livestock. Those misconceptions really need to be corrected for people to understand that we love this land, we want to leave this land in better shape than we got it, and this is how we take care of it.
Edgewater Beach Resort and Conference Center, Panama City Beach, Florida. A destination for rest and relaxation, and host to the 21st Annual Southern Peanut Growers Conference. A number that Georgia Peanut Commission Chairman Armin Morris agrees is hard to fathom.
It's kind of unbelievable, but it's turned out to be very good. It started off kind of small, 200 to 300 people, and it's grown to nearly 600 people now.
One thing that hasn't changed over the years is how the conference enables farmers and other industry professionals from Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi to get up to speed on a variety of topics. All who attend not only get to hear about the latest supply and demand numbers, but also the latest research in the industry and to browse a trade show highlighting the many different vendors who support peanut producers.
Oh, 100%. Technology changes yearly within the year, and it's just amazing to get caught up on new things coming down the line, new products, better to save money and help us make a profit.
We can't have too much information right now. It's hard times on the farm. We understand that you know, we've been through a hurricane and waiting on disaster money, and the market prices are really not all that great, and just a lot of challenges that the farmers have. But the thing that we like to do is be sure that they get some good news in this meeting, that they have something that they can take home that helps them to be optimistic. The other thing that's really critical is that they take something home that helps them to be better at what they do.
Scanning the room, one could argue that pretty much everyone in attendance is well versed in the science, technology, and overall knowledge of growing peanuts. But as we all know, unless there's a market for the crop, the peanuts will just sit in a holding bin. That's why experts like Joe Parker, president of the National Peanut Buying Point Association, work diligently to promote the crop, as well as the men and women who grow it.
We've got to look at exports. We've got to figure out how we can be competitive worldwide and sell more and more exports. Used to, we were One year we'd have plenty of exports to sell. The next year we wouldn't because our production went up and down so much. But now every year we have exports. And so we've got to get more involved and compete against India, compete against Brazil, compete against Argentina to try to penetrate more markets.
Two other key issues here in Panama City, issues that have nothing to do with the weather or what variety of peanuts a farmer chooses to grow. No, the issues I'm referring to, politics and trade. Enter Georgia Congressman Drew Ferguson. During his address, the Georgia Republican reiterated that disaster relief is indeed coming to southern states, but said the process continues to be a slow one, therefore he couldn't give a timetable as to exactly when farmers will receive their money. On the subject of trade, well, Ferguson blamed that on House leadership and their unwillingness to do business in a bipartisan way.
Well, look, it takes all of us to get this done. It takes, every member of Congress needs to understand what this trade deal means to their districts, and it's important that the ag community talk to their members of Congress about the importance of it, and most importantly, what happens if it fails or we don't get that vote. I can't think of anything that would hurt the American farmer more than not having a trade agreement in place with our two biggest trading partners in Mexico and Canada.
So yes, a lot of information for producers to think about, but all agree the information helps them make better decisions for their operations in the long run. Great time, great conference, very informative. And folks, don't forget, if you missed any part of the story or others on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel, The Farm Monitor. Once you're done there, click on over to our Facebook page, browse some of the pictures, send us some feedback. Got a story idea? Well, we want to hear about it. Send us a message either on Facebook or at the address on your screen. That is news@farm-monitor.com. All right, now getting back to the Young Farmers and Ranchers Conference, in the weeks leading up to it, local Farm Bureau offices held a collection drive called Calves Weight and Change, with all the money benefiting the Georgia Food Bank Association. Well, this year, 47 counties participated and ended up raising 721 pounds of change, which equaled almost $3,000. It's something the group is extremely proud of, especially when they get to see agriculture go full circle.
It's something that we produce ourselves, and then it's a commodity that we can see that we grow, and then we put it into some form of food that we can feed hungry and sometimes homeless people. So we felt like that was a good hand-in-hand relationship between farmers and actually being able to assist people to use our products and to get our products out, as well as help a great organization.
All right, time for our final break. When we come back, you've heard the saying, haste makes waste. Well, in this case, waste makes for good forage.
Honeybees contribute as much as $17 billion annually to the U.S. economy by providing pollination services to dozens of fruit and vegetable crops. This typically starts on the West Coast.
Every year, commercial beekeepers transport their bees to California for almond pollination. Afterwards, the honeybee colonies can be transported to other locations in the U.S. to pollinate different crops.
So keeping bee colonies healthy is a priority for the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Agricultural Research Service. This ARS lab in Beltsville, Maryland, is literally buzzing with activity.
For bee researchers, one of the starting points in understanding honeybee health and the stresses that they're exposed to is to conduct very controlled laboratory cage studies where honeybees are exposed to these different stressors.
The scientists study honeybee nutrition as well as other threats to bee colony health.
Viruses, pests, and disease can work in combination to affect colony health. And so reducing those impacts can improve colony health and reduce colony collapse incidents.
ARS scientists are looking to the emerging science of genomics as part of an integrated bee health strategy.
Methodologies, including genomics, could play a large role in helping us to decipher in great detail the effects of stress on honeybees and alleviate the negative effects of these stressors on honeybees.
In addition to agriculture, honeybees and other pollinators contribute greatly to healthy ecosystems and biodiversity around the world. In Beltsville, Maryland, for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, I'm Pat O'Leary.
Well, following this week, we finish in Nashville, where tons of waste generated by the city is now being used to help farmers. Scientists turning biosolids into fertilizer. Charles Denny on how it's saving the city money while boosting agriculture in nearby rural areas.
Nashville generates tons of waste each day, sewage sludge delivered to the city's wastewater treatment plant. The stay here for some of these materials will be temporary. But first, just what exactly is a biosolid?
Biosolids are residuals from wastewater treatment plants. In the past, in Tennessee, most of the biosolids have been landfilled. In Nashville, they have a new process to produce a product that can be used as a fertilizer.
UT's Institute of Agriculture has been working with Nashville government to make good use of the 20,000 tons of biosolids produced here every year. Waste that used to be sent to a landfill or out of state at a high cost is now being made into a useful product. Nashville invested in retrofitting its facility, which reduced odor and eliminated detectable pathogens. Now the biosolids are made thicker and used to grow microscopic bacteria, and then you have the next critical steps in the process.
After 17 days of digestion, we dewater the organic material, and then we pasteurize it through the drying process, and then we form the pellets.
And here are some of those pellets Mr. Lawrence just mentioned, the result of the transition from waste to fertilizer. The plant produces some 1,500 tons of these pellets each month, and now they're being shipped from the big city out to the country. Here trucks load the pellets to take to Robertson County, where it will be spread on farmland. UT Biosystems Engineering and Soil Science has experimented with the pellets on forage grown north of Nashville, as well as ag research centers in Crossville and Greenville. The results are encouraging: increased nutrients in the soil to produce more and better quality hay.
This material obviously provides organic matter, but as well as these important nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus, as well as some other ones like sulfur and copper and zinc, which can all benefit our soils and our cropping systems.
With this effort, not only is Nashville reducing waste, it's saving money as well.
Now that we're producing this product as a fertilizer, we're able to help the farmers out, and we're saving in tipping fees alone at the landfill over $4 million a year.
Great potential to, rather than send this material to the landfill, we can actually recycle it and get some beneficial reuse for it.
Walker says the next step is to try the pellets on row crops like corn, cotton, and wheat, and perhaps offer it to gardeners. Experts say the material works, and bottom line, agriculture and a city see a benefit. In Nashville, Charles Denny.
All right, Charles, great job as always. Hey, before we go, quick programming note for all of our viewers watching us on GPB, Georgia Public Broadcasting. The next 3 weekends, the 10th and 11th, 17th and 18th, as well as the 24th and 25th. The show will air at 5:30 a.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. This is due to the station's pledge drive for the month of August. And again, this applies only to GPB. Everywhere else, we are on at the normal time. Then the final weekend of this month, we're back on a normal time on GPB, 8 a.m. Saturdays, 6 a.m. on Sundays. So there you go. Now you know. Hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. We will see you next week right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.